What's going on? I'm gonna be going over my training split I'm about to start for my next bulk. Don't mind there being nothing behind me now. I'm moving out of here, moving out of the apartment, going back home for the summer, which is a perfect time to start my next bulk. So I've been sitting at maintenance calories, sitting around 210, trying to hold on to 210 pounds at 6 foot to start my next bulk. Body fat percentage, probably around 11 to 12. So pretty good spot to start my next bulk, because I just did one for about 4 months. I went from the end of my cut to immediately right back into a bulk, and it went pretty well because I actually tracked everything. And I think I gained quite a bit amount of muscle. I think the end of my cut I was about 182, and now I'm back up to 210. I've never been this heavy and lean out of my entire life. So pretty good. And so good, I want to start another bulk, which is probably going to be about 3 or 4 months. So I want to go over what my training split is going to be now and basically break it down to you completely and how I'm going to start my bulk. And let me show you what I'm going to be doing on each of the days. So let me start with push day 1. I'll put up on the screen all the different days of the week for what I'm doing, just so it's easier to follow along. So you can see for push day 1, I got chest, shoulders, and tries, of course. So I'll start off with chest. I always like starting with chest on any push day. I feel like that's, I don't know actually. I just find it the most enjoyable to do over tries and shoulders first. I want the most energy towards my chest. I want to build a bigger chest out of the 3. So I'll start with that incline press, 2 sets, 6 to 8 reps. Because it's a machine and it's a lot more stabilized, I do like going lower reps for it and higher weight, because it'll feel a lot safer when you're trying to get like a deep stretch on your pec. And if I try to do that with dumbbells and do 6 reps to failure for a dumbbell and I'm getting a stretch right here, it gets pretty scary, and I definitely don't want to tear my pec. So I'm going to keep it low reps for the machines. So 6 to 8 on the incline press machine. And another thing we'll be doing is I'm gonna get a deep stretch in each rep and then explode out of it. And then once I go down to the eccentric, probably do a 2 to 3 second eccentric. I found I feel the most stimulation in each of my muscles, and I actually find that the biggest pump I get is when I control each rep completely. On to the next, dumbbell shoulder press. I find it my favorite type of shoulder press is the dumbbells, because when I hold it, when I can get down to here, I feel like actual stretch on my shoulder once I get the dumbbell set to here and then go up, instead of going down like 90 degrees. I know some people like to do 90 degrees, like here, down here. But when I really control the rep and get all the way down to the bottom to touching my shoulder, I definitely feel it the most, and my shoulders actually feel pumped after doing 3 sets. 8 to 10 reps. This is another one where it's kind of like free weights. I'm a little hesitant to do like 5 to 8 reps, especially shoulder press. A lot could go wrong there. I definitely don't want to launch it behind me. I've seen too many videos of that. So next one, seated dips, 8 to 10. I'm not a big fan of seated dips, but I do want to throw them in here because I feel like since I'm not a big fan of them and I've hardly ever done them, I need to incorporate them in my split more. Also, I feel like part of my tricep, I think it's I don't know if it's the medial head or what, but like right here, I know there's 3 different heads to it. Whatever the one's right here, I'm pretty sure it gets hit more on seated dips if you do it properly. And I do want to build this for that part of my tricep. So seated dips are in the program, 2 sets, 8 to 10 reps. That's pretty comfortable to do. Not looking to go too heavy or too light, so 8 to 10 seems fine for that. Next one is tricep push down. Previously I was doing this like 7 to 10 reps, but triceps, I find if I do higher reps for it, I actually feel like I stimulated the muscle instead of going in there and just pushing weight around and not really getting the most out of each lift. So 12 to 15 reps. And yeah, I guess that's it for that one. cable ladder raise. I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna set this one up. I don't know if I'll set it up at like knee height and go from there and do it unilateral, meaning like one arm at a time. Or maybe I'll have two cables set up and do both, but I honestly have no preference. I mean, all those I find the same. I might just do it based off of whatever is the most accessible at the gym. I don't have to wait the longest, and then just stick with that one for the rest of this training program. Because honestly, it doesn't make much of a difference to me as long as it's higher reps and I can get like as much blood flow as possible in my shoulders. Oh, I also should probably mention the set ranges on this. Set ranges, you can see it's only 2 sets for these, and it's not a lot of sets. I'm doing that because it's the start of the bulk, and I want to start with like the minimum amount of sets I need to grow at the beginning of my bulk. Because once I get to the near end of my bulk, I want to be doing as many sets as my body can handle and recover from in order to just milk out the last bit of growth before I finish that bulk and then eventually need to start a cut because my body needs to go in the other direction from gaining too much weight. So yeah. Oh, also the goal weight, like I said, I'm gonna be at about 210. The goal weight's about 225 and the bulk's gonna be about 13 weeks long, I think. 13 or 15 weeks long, I don't know. It's gonna be about a pound a week. So hopefully I get up to around 225, which is pretty crazy to think about. 6 foot, 225 is a big person. So that's gonna be pretty cool. Looking forward to it. So yeah, that's push day 1. And I think that's really it. If you got any questions about any of these, drop it in the comments and I'll respond to all the comments in there. If I miss any information that you wanna know about, let me know. But I think I covered everything for push day 1. All right, pull day 1. We got barbell row starting off, 6 to 8 reps. For all the row movements, I like to hold it for like 1 second, maybe not even a second, just like a pause at the top of the movement, just to make sure I'm actually squeezing my back and making sure I can actually hit my back and not just swing the barbell row back and forth, and it's kind of just moving my lower back and forth instead of actually doing a row. So I like to hold it for 1 second and make sure I'm actually using my back. And I use straps for this always. All my row movements, I use straps. I got to the point where it's like my forearms are on fire if I don't use them. So straps come in handy. 6 to 8, 2 reps. Wait a minute. 2 sets, 6 to 8 reps. And that's pretty straightforward. I mean, oh, also I can explain a little bit how I do them. Or like my arm width. I'll put my arms out to where my forearm is perpendicular with my body. So like when I row, I won't have them right here and row here to here. I'll have them where it's perpendicular like this. I'll grab the bar there and then be able to row it. I found from that position, hand position, I get the most out of it and I actually feel it the most in my back, especially my lats. I know it hits your whole back overall, but I don't know, it must be something about the way I do them. My lats are on fire after it. So that's everything for barbell row. Next is lat pull down. I like doing a little more, like 8 to 10 reps on lat pull downs. Once I get to like 5, 6, maybe 7 reps for lat pull downs, it feels a little difficult to actually stay in the seat and pull it down. It feels like I'm fighting more with the seat than actually doing a lat pull down. So I like to do a little higher reps. I might even change that to 10 to 12, but honestly, no preference on which hand positioning I do for that. I'll probably just do a neutral one like here. I think I get the most out of it from doing a neutral. Nothing too special about that. And then I'll finish off with biceps. I'll do preacher curl. I like doing those slow and controlled, and then not holding at the bottom, but making sure my elbow, if you want to call it, locks out at the bottom to get a full stretch, and then I'll go back to the lift, and then that's really it for preacher curl. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then incline dumbbell curl. Once I started doing these, I kind of want this in every single one of my bicep workouts. When I do incline dumbbell curls, whatever it is, whatever stretch position it puts in, I feel the most like stimulation solely on my bicep whenever I do it. It does a pretty good job isolating your bicep, because when you're leaning back, it's a lot harder to use your shoulder and like kind of lateral raise it up when you're doing a bicep curl. So I definitely enjoy these, and I want to do higher reps because when you do like lower reps for the incline dumbbell curl, it can get a little concerning on, I think it's the tendon right here at the top of your bicep. This tendon might start hurting if you're doing low reps and just kind of cranking out reps. Like, yeah, low reps, high weight, and you're just cranking out those low reps, you may hurt yourself a little bit. So I like to do higher reps, 10 to 15, get blood flow, and I think that's it. And leg day 1. This is a hamstring and calf based leg day. You can see it's not that much, because I mean, hamstrings don't need a whole ton of sets because they get tired pretty quick. And starting off with barbell RDL. I was thinking about doing dumbbells, but I kind of enjoy the bar more. Using the barbell, I can get a bigger, I don't even think it gives a bigger stretch. I just feel it a lot better when I use a barbell. I may throw a plate underneath my feet when I do this, just so the bar path is a bit further. Or I'm still deciding if I do that or not. 10 to 12 reps though. I want to be able to make sure I'm controlling each rep and making it much more like an RDL than a deadlift. So I really don't want to just crank them out like a deadlift. I want to make every rep count and control each rep. Especially when I'm getting those last few reps, I want those to be the same pace as the beginning. Next is seated hamstring curl. 12 to 15 reps. I find this one as well, when I do lower reps for hamstring curl, my hamstrings burn out way too quick. Let's say my first set, if I only do somewhere between 6 and 8 reps, then my hamstrings are just destroyed for the rest of the sets. And it's kind of like, well, you did one set and then my hamstrings don't even really feel stimulated, and I can't do as much on the rest of the sets. So I find 12 to 15 to be the best for hamstrings, and then controlling each rep, of course. Next is seated calf raises. Seated calves, or for all my calves, I'm gonna be doing about 10 to 12 reps. Once I get to those lower weights for calves, I find that like if I'm doing a standing calf raise, I start to use like my quads, like I'll start hopping, but with my quads as well. And then I'm not actually hitting my calves. I know this one's seated, but I still want to keep it higher reps, because I just found that grows my calves the best is when I get higher reps and control each rep, make it slow, and get as much blood flow in my calves as possible. My calves actually started to grow instead of being the same and complacent. I think that's it for the first PPL. Pretty straightforward, nothing too special. And then I'm gonna go over push day 2. So it's a little different than push day 1, but pretty much the same overall scheme. This one has 2 chest exercises because I wanna be hitting 6 sets of chest per week. I found for chest as well as triceps, if I do equal amount of chest and tricep sets as I do as all my other muscles, I'll go through my whole training split, and then my chest and tricep strength will come to a halt, and I'll stop progressing on those. But everything else, like my back, biceps, legs, and calves, will keep progressing in strength each session. And then it just feels like they're falling behind because everything else seems to keep growing, but my chest and triceps have soreness overlapping with the next workout. So I want to fix that mistake this time. And I'm going to be starting off with less sets for my chest and triceps. So chest, I only got 6 sets per week, and triceps, I only got, I think, 7 sets per week. And I'll be going from there and progressing everything, beginning at a way less amount of volume. So incline dumbbell press, as you can see, I'm starting out with compound movements. Incline dumbbell press, that's really straightforward. So 8 to 10. Like I said, I don't want to do any less than 8 reps per set because I don't want to tear my pec. So the next is Smith machine shoulder press, doing 8 to 10 reps. The way I'll set the machine is where the bar will be like maybe an inch from, like say, inch from my chin out, pretty close. And this one I'll still do, I won't go down 90 degrees. I'll go all the way down and start here and then push up. But also for the same thing like I said for the rows, I wanna get my hand position in a spot where I feel it the most, in my shoulders and not from my triceps. So I'm pretty sure where I find it is like slightly out from shoulder width, like right here. But I may have to change that and maybe put my arms out this far. So my advice is whatever you find that hits your shoulders the most, where you feel it hits your shoulders the most, put it. Because everyone obviously has different hand placements for what's best for them. So that's to be determined where I put my hand placement on that. But 8 to 10 reps and same scheme, control the weight. Next thing, easy bar skull crushers, 10 to 12 reps. These ones I like to do, instead of starting here and bringing it down to like your forehead, I bring it a little further, and then I can bring the bar back to here, and then I can fully stretch my tricep at the bottom of the movement and then be able to push back up. 10 to 12 because later in the workout I want to get more blood flow towards my triceps, and it's the only tricep exercise of that day, and I want to just get blood flow into the tricep there. 3 sets of it, and yeah, that's pretty much it for that. The last part, seated incline cable fly, 12 to 15 reps. For this one, when you're sitting down into the cables, when I extend out, I'm gonna have it like, pretend that I'm hugging a tree, and I'm also gonna make it go towards, or make my hand movement go towards like my clavicle, which is your collarbone right here. So instead of doing the fly and then hugging like the mid of my mid chest, I'm gonna do it up like here more. And I found that when this exercise hits my upper chest the most out of anything. So when I hit these, like 2 days after, when my chest is sore, it feels like my neck is sore. I mean, it's not actually sore, but like I'll feel here and right next to my collarbone, the chest, the striations right next to my collarbone are sore, and it's like a good uncomfortable feeling of that part being sore, because I know I actually hit like right there in your upper chest. So if you've never tried these before, give them a try. These are definitely my favorite upper chest movement. 12 to 15 reps, because I mean, pec flies you really don't want to go too heavy on. Those are mainly just a blood flow movement. And yeah, that's it for push day 2. Let's go into pull day 3, T-bar row. I'll start off with the row, 2 sets, 8 to 10 reps. This, I think I'm planning on doing this a little different than I would normally do. So for T-bar rows, I'll normally like pull all the way to where my hands can't go any further back. But I think for this one, when I start pulling and I'm stretched from here, I'm only gonna go as far back as where my elbow meets my elbow becomes parallel with the rest of my body. So I don't think I'll do all the way full rep. I'll probably just do those. And the reason behind that is because I'm pretty sure that'll hit my traps a bit more. And I'm pretty sure at the end of the movement, when you're going from like here to here, it incorporates a lot more bicep than back. So I just want to try to isolate back on this movement. I know I'm still gonna hit biceps, but I want to make it minimal. So that's what I'll be trying for this one. And 8 to 10 reps, I mean, get a squeeze at the top of the movement, like the barbell row. And that's it for T-bar row. Next is lat pullover machine. If you're lucky enough to have the lat pullover machine at your gym, I definitely suggest using it. It's probably the most stimulus I get on my back out of any back machine. Apart from like a barbell row, I'd say those are top 2 for me. Barbell row and lat pullover machine. 10 to 12 reps. I find I get more out of it when I do higher reps for a lat pullover machine. Lower reps, it kind of just feels like I'm fighting the machine and I'm like falling out of the seat, like trying to pull. I'm like basically pulling myself up out of the seat if I'm doing too low of reps. So a lot of this, as you can see from that, like a lot of the rep ranges I pick, it's kind of just from what I found works best for situational wise. It may be different for you. You may do lower reps and it may be completely fine doing it, but I found 10 to 12 reps is fine for me. Next is hammer curl. Hammer curl 8 to 10. I'm comfortable doing a little lower rep between 8 to 10 on bicep or hammer curls because it's a neutral grip and I feel like I can get more out of it doing heavier weight with having my forearm incorporated more. And I don't feel like I'm gonna hurt my biceps or tear a bicep when doing lower reps of a bicep curl such as 8. The rest of that is pretty explanatory. And then cable curl, 12 to 15. Like I said, I usually prefer higher reps for biceps, get the most out of it. Cable curl, I mean, self-explanatory. I'll do a straight bar probably and try to get it shoulder width and try not to move my elbows at all. And which is also why I'm making it 12 to 15 reps, because I mean, obviously sometimes you'll move your elbows even when you're not trying to. So 12 to 15, I'll make sure I'm actually getting the most out of my biceps and not incorporating too much of other muscle groups such as shoulders. And then last thing is legs, day 2. This is the quad focused and calves still. So starting off with pendulum squat. It's pretty unlikely your gym has a pendulum squat. I think it's pretty cool. The gym I go to now just got a pendulum squat in the past like few months. And I've actually never used it because I haven't been back home to use it. Looking forward to using it. Hopefully it turns out well. It should. From what I heard, pendulum squat feels even better than a hack squat, and I'm a big fan of hack squats. So that should be fun. And I'm putting that as 8 to 10 reps right now because that seems like a reasonable range to do for squats. That's subject to change. I'm not entirely sure on that. But the plan is to do 2 sets of a type of squat. And I really want to do pendulum squats. So that's in there. Next, leg press, 10 to 15 reps. I like to put my feet as low as I can on the pad. Wherever you want to put your foot placement on the leg press machine. I like to put it as low as possible because then I get the most out of my quads and it doesn't feel like I'm using my butt as much. Because this is a quad focused leg day, and it's not trying to hit glutes or hamstrings at all. And then the next thing I made calf raises right on the leg press. It's easy enough, just use the same leg presses you were using. I had this superset in one of my previous splits during my previous bulk. I would do leg press, and then as soon as my leg press was done, or that set was done, I'd superset it directly into calf raises. And I found doing calf raises on the leg press is one of the best feeling calf raises I've done. So I don't want to do a superset again though, because it was kind of tough trying to match the weight of the leg press to the calves, because you can leg press a lot more than you can calf raise probably. And it's kind of a pain because I'd finish the leg press, I'd take the weights off and then have to go right into the superset. So I'd much rather just finish off my leg press sets and then do my calf raise sets. And 10 to 12, explained why. Last part, quad extension, 10 to 15. These, I get a little scared with my knees because my knees sound like Velcro and they are already pretty crackly for only being 20 years old. So to make sure I'm not damaging them any more than they already are, I like to hold this maybe a couple seconds at the top of each movement and just squeeze the quad to make sure I'm not putting too much tension on my knees and just completely destroying them. That's something my high school trainer taught me when I used to have knee problems, was to put the machine on like a super light weight, like not doing a set, but this is just for like to help your knee in physical therapy, is put it at a super light weight and just like do like an isometric hold at the top of the calf or quad extension. And you do that for maybe a set, 3 sets of 10, just focused on strengthening your knee. And that helped my knees a ton in recovery and to be going back to doing actual quad extensions. So yeah, I think that's everything for this first training split. If you got any questions about what I have going on, or if I missed anything that you want to know about that split, let me know. Like I said, I'm going to be answering all the comments. And that's all I got for this one. Make sure you go check out the Instagram, the TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and it's all the same name as this account. So Devin Schaefer with 2 R's. That's all I got. See you guys later.